for coming tonight. I want to recognize our Common Council. We have our President Pro Tem, Kelly Kimbrough, here. I believe that Ginny Farrell is going to be, oh, there you are, Ginny. Hello, thank you and welcome. And to all of the members of our Common Council, thank you so much for being here this evening. Our New York State Comptroller, Tom DiNapoli, is here. It has his regional representative here, Alex Sutherland. Our hardworking team over in the state capitol, Senator Breslin, Assembly Members Fahey and McDonald are hard at work, so let's let them be given a little grace tonight. Hopefully they're working to get us more money. And we are also joined by DEC Commissioner Basil Sagos, who's an incredible partner for the City of Albany. Thank you for being here today. Governor Hochul's representative, Harry Hashush, Attorney General James's representative, Cassie Walker, Senator Gillibrand's representative, Buck Bobbin, Deputy County Executive Mike McLaughlin is here, our Chief City Auditor, Dorcia Pleers, as well as our City Treasurer, Darius Shanfar, have joined us, and our City Court judges, Regia Rice, John Riley, Holly Trexler, Bill Kelly, and Josh Farrell are all joining us tonight. Thank you so much for being here. We are also joined by my amazing team of commissioners, department heads, and deputies and directors who do incredible work day in and day out. We're also joined by our COVID Recovery Task Force, which was co-chaired by Mike Whalen and Jaqueen Hoke. We have ARPA grantees who are here tonight. Our West Hill Community Center Steering Committee is here. Members of the boards, those Parking Authority, Port Authority, our Zoning Board, our Planning Board, all of those folks who spend countless hours of their time ensuring that they're doing all that they can to help our city because they care about our community. We have partners here in higher education, economic development, our city school districts, small businesses, our neighbors, our friends. I'm so excited to have so many people here tonight as I provide you with an update on the state of our incredible city. You know, I typically start this event by acknowledging that every year there are those who have served our community and served our city who we've lost. This year we lost a number of individuals who were community leaders, elected officials, current city employees, former city employees, including one of our own Albany police officers, Connor O'Shea. And we also lost my very first chief of staff, Matt Peter, who was someone who cared deeply about the city of Albany. He was passionate about the future of this city. He cared about local government. He understood that it is at the local level that decisions are made and opportunities exist for us to really transform people's lives. And he will be deeply and dearly missed. I want to thank DEC Commissioner Basil Sagos for introducing us and bringing us together with a city in the Ukraine that reminds us of how grateful we are for the peace that we enjoy here at home and how important it is that we recognize that we have the opportunity to bring hope and to ensure that we are doing all that we can for a city that is thousands of miles away. The city of Bucha in Ukraine suffered some of the most horrific war crimes ever perpetrated. And when the mayor of Bucha was here, Basil Sagos introduced me to him, and I could not but be moved to say, we will be there for you. Just as we were for Nijmegen all those years ago after World War II, we will be there for the city of Ukraine. We've already sent them 50 sets of turnout gear, thanks to the Albany Fire Department. We've sent them computers and medical equipment, and we will continue to be there for them when they rebuild. That is the heart that Albany has, and it's one of the things that makes me so proud of this city. We also, thank you. We also saw the horrors of what happened in Israel brought to our front door when shots were fired here in our city at a temple where children were attending preschool. And so we must remember that we are all called upon to ensure that we make no place for hate in our city. To Deb Zamer, the only Jewish member of our Common Council, I want to say to you personally that I was appalled by the hateful and hurtful things that were said to you at a Common Council meeting. And we have to remember that we can agree to disagree, but we always must be civil. And we always must respect people's faith, their gender, their ethnicity, their race. That is who we are. That is what we are called to do. And I hope that we can continue to remember that throughout 2024, which is going to be an election year, which is going to be a time when people will try to divide us. And if we remember that we are in a community together, that we are all neighbors, and that while we may not agree on everything, we can agree that kindness is where everything should start. So we're here to talk, thank you. We're here to talk about 2023 and the future that we see in 2024 and beyond. We're going to be talking about people and projects and the results that we're seeing. The thing that I want you all to walk away with tonight is to understand that we are able to do amazing and incredible things as a city, but with the ARPA funding that President Biden provided to us under the leadership that was provided by Senator Schumer, Senator Gillibrand, and Congressman Tonko, we have been able to level that up and do incredible and amazing things. Let's start with what we're able to do in the course of an ordinary year. Actually, we have a lot more room in our summer youth employment program, and I'm thrilled that our school superintendent is here. Welcome to Albany, and thank you for all that you are doing. We have the superintendent is here. Let's give him a round of applause. But we had 550 youth in our summer youth employment program. We had over 100 participants in our weekly teen nights on Friday nights, 85 daily participants in after-school programs every day after school in the city. We hosted 7 summer camps. And in 2023, we launched a year-long summer youth employment program, and that's expanding in 2024. And we're working with the school district to ensure that we know that the young people who need this the most are getting access to it. But look at what we're able to do with a little bit of extra funding.
So we are sitting in the future basketball court of the Albany West Community Center. Jamel Robinson, councilman for the 5th Ward in the city of Albany. This building has gone through many changes, and ever since I was a kid, I grew up in West Hill, and I always remember this building being here, and to believe it that it used to be the old boys club. And so for it to return back to its original intended purpose, which is adding a space for a community, I believe that's just an awesome thing. Well, motivation came out of, I believe, 2 places. The first place is the community said this is what they wanted, and so it was really the voice of the community. Well, the American Rescue Plan Act funding was crucial to the West Hill Community Center, because what it did was it jump-started the idea that this was possible. It's such a vital part of changing the narrative in our community. So I want to send a huge thank you to President Biden and his administration. Also thank our mayor and her administration, and also our council colleagues who were big advocates of this project. And I also want to especially thank Councilwoman Joyce Love, who we partnered in this idea, and she was a big help in ensuring that this idea became a reality. It's really showing that our city cares. The city is listening. Our elected officials are listening. Our government is listening, because it's not just an investment in brick and mortar, it's an investment in people. And anytime you invest in people, people will in turn be the builders of greater communities and make our city great. I thank President Joe Biden for his investment in helping communities be on the cutting edge for the future.
All right. So it takes a little imagination, but we have even some preliminary mock-ups. We're going to continue to work with the community to get to the final design and to make this community center a reality for the most under-resourced neighborhood in the city of Albany, to have a place that's safe, to have a place for children, for seniors, for the community to come together. And as Councilmember Robinson so eloquently said, The community is going to own this space. The community is going to determine what happens here. And when we give space to the community can do amazing things. So we are here in Albany West, but that's not all. We are really excited about being able to use ARPA money to also focus on Albany South. And you're going to hear a little bit about the community center that we have in the south end of Albany and how we are going to also transform that space.
So here at the Hoffman Community Center, we're going to be building the Albany South Community Center.
7 Hoffman Ave, the Department of Recreation.
It's Jonathan Jones, Commissioner of Recreation, Youth and Workforce Services for the City of Albany.
My name is Brittany White. I'm the office supervisor here at the Department of Recreation. So here at Hoffman, we have arts and crafts, we have gaming, we have basketball programs, a teen night every Friday. We actually just did a hair braiding class, which we had to move inside the office space because we don't have the space to do it in the community center.
We're located in our South End community at the top of the hill. The building was built in the 1960s.
It's an old apartment building in a garage.
Mayor Sheehan, under her leadership, allowed us to think pretty big outside the box.
We have office spaces, which is 2 floors. We can only utilize 1 floor right now, but we have a community center, former garage, that is attached to it. We divided it up into a makeshift basketball court and a makeshift area where we can gather together. So right now we can only do one thing at a time. If we do have a senior service program, we can't have basketball. If the community needs a meeting space, we can't do arts and crafts. So we're limited in what we can do.
And so we'll be able to have many functions happening at the same time. This will be a location where we'll house not only our Department of Recreation, our headquarters for our administrative department. The new revitalized Albany South Community Center will mean so much to the community.
We have been making it in this garage, in this old apartment building for years.
I'm excited about the Albany South Community Center because it will be headquarters not only to our offices, but it will allow us and our young people to have a high school regulation gym, and our classrooms to be offered things like yoga and dance.
It's for everyone. We work so others can play.
All right, let's give it up for recreation. So we are moving forward with the design, and it is going to be incredible space that tells our community how much we care about them. You know, we can't do it all. We rely on community-based organizations to help to ensure that the needs of our community are being met. And one of those places that is doing that and has been doing it for years and years is the South End Children's Cafe. And we're going to learn a little bit about why the South End Children's Cafe is going to be leveling up with their ARPA money, because they have outgrown the space that they are in, and the incredible work that they do is still so needed.
What do you love about the Children's Cafe? How many friends do you have here?
The South End Children's Cafe was founded in November of 2015 to impact food security, food justice, and food equality by offering a free healthy meal to children and youth in the community and their families, and also focusing on overall wellness by offering one-on-one homework help, tutoring, arts and crafts, enrichment, exercise, and anything that will impact the overall wellness of a child. My name is Tracy Keelar, and I'm the founder and director of the South End Children's Cafe.
Hello, my name is Itay Rosales. I'm the project manager.
Simone Sprague, and I'm 11 years old.
We have continued to grow, and with the help of the city, we were able to move into this building. We are at the point now where we just have a waiting list and are just bursting at the seams, which is a good problem to have, but we want to be able to serve any child or youth that wants to be involved in the program.
We don't have that much space.
One of the main spaces that our kids have been asking for is a space for our teens.
I'd like the new building to be someplace where there's space for big kids and space for the younger kids.
We were one of the recipients of the grant. We were so excited because what was funded was an expansion project.
We're currently under contract for 33 Rensselaer Street, located in the south end of Albany.
And so to be able to move into a larger building, to serve more children, not to have a waiting list, and to just be able to be part of this beautiful community in a larger way is something that the ARPA grant is going to enable us to do. And we're going to work as hard as we can to make Albany proud of investing in us. The city is looking at what the needs are. Also lets folks in Albany know that the city cares.
So 125 additional children will be able to be served at that new facility, creating great hope and a great resource for our families. We also were able to provide a grant to In Our Own Voices to create a drop-in center for LGBTQ+ youth. I remember when Tandra came to me a number of years ago and said, we have a lot of young people who are couch surfing. We have people who, when they come out to their parents, they've been kicked out of their houses, and we need a space for them. So together with ARPA funding and funding that was provided by Congressman Paul Tonko, we're gonna build that space because of the ARPA money. So we're very excited, and I wanna thank In Our Own Voices for their leadership in ensuring that this huge need is met. You know, we are able to serve our seniors and have really increased our senior programming in part because of the council's leadership and the council ensuring and stressing how important it is to provide programming for our seniors. We have an older loved ones program that runs 4 days a week. It has 45 participants at the Arbor Hill Community Center. And with the ARPA funding that we have, we were able to expand Albany in Place, which really did a lot of work and does a lot of work in the western part of the city, but is now providing services in the Parkview Apartments, Townsend Apartments, Ida Yarborough, South Mall Towers. They've assisted 82 seniors in being able to stay in place. They've completed 15 home safety assessments, and they're continuing to use that ARPA funding to ensure that our seniors are connected to the services that they need and are able to age in place and age at home. That is what ARPA is doing and is transforming the lives of these seniors. We also are able to provide world-class recreation facilities. So in the ordinary course of our budget, we were able to build new pickleball courts out at the golf course. We continue to revitalize our parks. McCown Park was revitalized in 2023. And also, because of the generosity of Ed Mitson and the Business for Good, we were able to launch a fundraising campaign for probably one of the largest projects undertaken at any recreation facility anywhere in this city in decades. Let's watch.
Because now we're getting a facelift, and it's something that this pool has needed for many, many, many years.
The Lincoln Park Pool is long known to be a place where families would gather in the summertime. It has been existing for a long, long time, decades and decades.
My name is Willie White, and I've been living in the city of Albany for about 55 years. I'm going to tell my grandkids, I swam in this pool, now you're going to swim in this pool. And you can tell your kids that, they can swim in this pool because it had a deficit when it comes to swimming. We were never exposed. This pool is very important because it's what the community wanted.
And now we have an opportunity to offer not only just recreational swim, but also a spray pad area and a zero entry pool area.
And the pool was so outdated. And of course, we all are aware of the problems, the technical problems that the pool had. Leaking for 90 years. What cost to the city is that? We could be putting that money into other stuff.
That pool had been losing hundreds of thousands of gallons of water.
And I found it very rewarding with this current administration that, they've been willing to work with the community. Wow, here we are. We're gonna get our dream. That pool, when it opens up, you will see our kids over here by the hundreds. They're very excited. They're very excited because they took ownership. Jewel of the South End, I truly, truly in my heart believe it's the people, because the South End is our community. There's great people in the city of Albany. Individually, we can be strong, but collectively, we are a powerhouse. When we come together as a community, there's nothing that we can't accomplish. Our kids will have a beautiful place to swim. This here will last for generations.
So we are past the point of no return. The round pool has been demolished, and this incredible new facility will be in its place. The goal is to have it open by the 4th of July of 2025. We also were able to use ARPA money in small amounts that had transformational changes. Westland Hills is a vibrant, incredible park that has a Little League program and a softball program that is attended by hundreds and hundreds of children. It relies on the volunteers of parents to make it happen. And we were able to, with a small investment, provide new lights, a batting cage, and really improve the experience that those kids and those families are going to have. We were able to put a new walking trail in at Westland Hills Park, and that is helping to ensure that seniors have places to walk and to recreate and for our families to enjoy. A new dock down at the riverfront has really helped to ensure that the rowing programs that occur there, that do Learn to Row, that bring young kids from the city down, are able to continue to host events and to continue to thrive. And again, those are small, small measures, relatively small dollars that have had outsized impacts on those organizations. But none of this happens without people. It took people to put together an application process for ARPA, to review those applications. I'm looking at Ginny Farrell. We read lots and lots of applications. Corey Ellis has joined us. Kelly Kimbrough, Darius Shanvar, my corporation counsel is here somewhere. We read lots and lots of, Marisa, there you go, lots and lots of applications. And it required that we also ensure that we had the ability to administer the ARPA program, and that we were looking at how it aligned with everything that we are doing. People are a huge part of our ability to be able to deliver on our commitment and our promises to the public. And we were struggling like everybody else. We had vacancy rates that were through the roof. We were having trouble filling positions. We were having trouble finding folks. And so we decided that it was worth spending a little bit of that ARPA money to ensure that we were going to have people who would be able to execute when it came time to deliver on these projects. So let's look at what we did.
Service, but have people that really know this community, invest in this community, live here, work here. I think it helps everybody.
Are you ready?
Are you ready to join Albany? Are you ready?
My name is Anne Marie Salmon. I'm the City of Albany's Commissioner of Administrative Services.
My name is Tatiana Diaz. I am the Director of Human Resources for the City of Albany.
One of the things we thought we would do with the ARPA money that we need to do, totally shake things up.
It is our recruitment campaign where we're making a push for candidates to join Albany.
Really sell these jobs.
It's a great place to work.
My name is Shiloh. I am a social media marketing intern with the Department of Recreation with the City of Albany. My favorite thing about working for the City of Albany is I can be myself, I can be creative, and I have a family atmosphere that's full of support, and I very much look forward to coming to work every day.
And you need the skilled workers to be able to reinvest back into the community, and it's really important to start here with our city workforce.
So under the leadership of Administrative Services, we were able to reduce vacancies by 29%. We increased the number of applications by 40%, and we've had 22 million impressions on our Serve Albany campaign, our Join Albany campaign. So thank you for all the hard work. And if you want to join Albany and you're still out there, please check out our website. Investing in our workforce also is critically important for the employees who are already here. And so I'm very proud of the fact that we were able to use some of our ARPA funding to ensure that we could settle long outstanding contracts. We settled a 4-year contract with our firefighters, and we have a new contract in place for the Albany Police Department with salary raises. And I am so grateful that we had the opportunity, because of the rescue plan, to be able to settle those contracts and ensure that our workforce felt that they were valued and appreciated, because they're busy. Our fire department responded to more than 24,000 calls for service, over 100,000 calls for service by our Albany Police Department. They are busy. They are very busy departments. And when I think about some of the challenges that we faced in 2023, the Doane Stewart structure fire, which was horrific and very challenging, and thankfully nobody was injured. There was a catastrophe that our fire department prevented on the thruway that could have been catastrophic. And then just a short time after the Doane Stewart fire, we had a fire on Grand Street, and thanks to an assist from DGS, is DGS in the house? They got some folks out of that, thank you, out of that building, and nobody was hurt. But you know, our police and fire department, they're on the front line. We continue to see far too many overdoses. They are moving in the right direction, but this is not only a drain on resources, but it is a sign of the pain that exists in our community and the need that exists in our community. You know, I can't leave, though, the fire department without giving a shout out. Back-to-back CDTA bus pole champions. Take a bow there, Joe. And I also need to give a shout out to the Albany Police Department and the Albany Fire Department. There was a clean sweep at the Pearl Street Diner cooking contest. They, they beat the Albany County District Attorney, so, we'll take that win any day. But to be serious, we have to look at, what have we done with respect to public safety? It's something that, as Common Council members know, our constituents talk about all the time. I want to start by acknowledging that under the leadership of Governor Hochul, we received $500,000 to build out the largest crime analysis center in the state, $1.8 million for gun violence expansion of programs, $480,000 for mental health programs, and another $2.4 million in other funding that we received from the state in order to address public safety. And we're getting results. In 2023, we had declines in the number of shots fired, shooting incidents, shooting victims, burglaries. Vehicular homicides were down 80%. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about traffic safety in a moment. Motor vehicle thefts down 34%. That's a really important number because stolen cars were being used disproportionately in a number of the incidents of gun violence that we were seeing in our city. And all of that happened while the calls for service were up 5%. And we took 138 illegal handguns off the road. One number that stays stubbornly high, though, was our homicide rate. In 2023, we continued to see loss of life from homicide victims, and 84% of those victims that were non-vehicular were killed by somebody who they knew, somebody who they had a personal relationship with, somebody that they had a situation with, whether it was a disagreement over an individual or a long-standing dispute with. And so in 2024, we know that we have to be focusing on the underlying causes that are and address this issue of people needing to find other ways of resolving their conflicts and of de-escalating situations. That's why I went to Washington this past summer with a number of mayors from across the country to advocate for the federal government to fund 100,000 social workers across this country. We need help in every community. This mental health crisis is hitting communities big and small. There were mayors that were Republican, Democrat, Independent, all of us together in one voice asking Congress to act. But I know that sometimes Congress doesn't act. Sometimes it takes a long time. And after many meetings and many conversations and lots of we'll try and we agree and we want to get something done, I realized the cavalry isn't coming from Washington right away. So we need to act now. That's why, as the president of the New York Conference of Mayors, I have made this a priority issue for the New York Conference of Mayors. And it's also why we are focusing on partnering with Albany County to ensure that we are utilizing our resources and the county's resources collectively together. There is still a huge gap in the number of people who are available to serve those in need. We don't have enough caseworkers. We don't have enough social workers. We don't have enough psychiatrists, psychologists to address this issue. And so we have to ensure that we're not working at cross purposes. That's why we're utilizing nearly $1 million of our opioid recovery money to provide that funding directly to the county, and the county is going to operate a first-of-its-kind street treatment program here in the city of Albany. I see some members of the county legislature, but the bright lights are in my eye. I want to thank Albany County. I want to thank Mike McLaughlin and the county executive for recognizing how important it is for us to do this together. We're going to see those street treatment teams on our street. They're going to be meeting people where they are, not expecting for them to show up at an appointment at 2 o'clock on a Tuesday, so that we can get our arms around what the needs are and begin the process of helping people heal, helping people get the help that they need, and helping to ensure that our residents and our business owners know what they can do to assist us in ensuring that people are getting help. The police cannot solve this on their own. And we are optimistic, and I am optimistic, that with these street treatment teams, we will begin to see a difference. We are also hiring social workers that will be available 24/7 at both South Station and Center Station. Ask any police officer on any shift, and they will tell you that inevitably somebody walks into that station house with a problem that a police officer can't solve, but a social worker might be able to help them with. And so we're going to start there as we explore the in-depth work that we would need to do to bring an Accord dispatch program to the city of Albany. And we can't do it all. We need community providers to be there along with us. And so one of the most exciting ARPA projects that we funded for me is a project that was proposed by Northern Rivers called Jumpstart. And it's designed to prevent people from getting to the point that they're walking into a police station or that they're out on the street. This is a program that helps people before the crisis gets beyond their ability to cope with it. Whether they've had a fire in their apartment, they're in the midst of a breakup, they're having trouble enrolling their child in school, they've gotten a notification that they're going to lose their Section 8 voucher, or that they've lost their SNAP benefits, or that they no longer are eligible for Medicaid. If we can get in there and help them right away, prevent them from going off the rails, think of all of the peace of mind that we're bringing to our community. Let's listen.
Everyone should know about Jumpstart.
It doesn't matter your social status, your economic status, your religious status. If you have a need, then we're here to address that need. The only qualification is that you reside in the city of Albany.
Hi, my name is Crystal Robinson. I've been living in Albany for all my life, born and raised. If I try to get another job, I'll lose a Section 8. Every time I say I'm gonna move, like my sister died. And then my dad just died this year. And I didn't want to leave my mom because she's a diabetic.
My name is Sheehan Washington, and I'm a community resource advocate with Jumpstart Services. Jumpstart works with other service providers to break down social determinants of health by creating an action plan, screening recipients, and noting what it is that they need so that we can address those needs.
But she guided me through all of that.
Anything I need, they're there. Yeah, my name is Trisha K. Lower. I moved to Albany approximately 2 years ago. Since day one, she had a sparkle in her eye and a smile so big. I loved it. She was very caring and she listened.
We're equipped to pretty much handle whatever comes out with the recipients. Creating an action plan where we can focus on certain goals and obtain those goals. Where they're saying, thank you, this really worked for me.
So since the inception of this program, 250 people have received assistance. And I am so grateful, and I hope that even after the ARPA money is used, that those of us in government, at the state level, at the county level, at the local level, will understand that it is this type of help, this helping hand, this soft touch, that can help prevent so much stress and strain in our community. As part of rethinking and reimagining how we provide service to our community, we, and again, I want to thank the Common Council for their support, created a new department, a Department of Neighborhood and Community Services. The goal was to ensure that we were enhancing the one-stop shop at 200 Henry Johnson. We wanted to make sure that we could establish a customer service counter, be able to address our residents' issues and those trying to do business in the city of Albany. We launched a citizen action portal to make it easier for individuals to get information about permits and code violations. And we also worked to ensure that we were making it easier for things like cafe permits. But we are also focused on ensuring that we were holding ourselves accountable by looking at the numbers. You know, our community development agency has provided significant support over the last year, $1.2 million in neighborhood revitalization, nearly $1 million in lead abatement. They've provided grants to homeowners. They've helped people become new homeowners. And this is really important, day in and day out work that we do. I'm pleased to announce that as of yesterday, we learned that we received a $1.9 million Health Homes grant from HUD. This is a grant that is going to allow us to assist 120 more residents to stay in their homes, to address blight in their homes, and I want to congratulate the Community Development Agency. This was a highly, highly competitive grant, and we got the full $1.9 million. So great news for the city of Albany. You know, our Love Your Block grant has been able to get additional funding. This was a grant that we received, but we've now been able to fund it through city dollars as well as through donations. In 2023, we were able to remove, you see the numbers, 300 pounds of trash. We weatherized 16 homes. The thing that is so exciting about this program is that it is neighbor-driven. It is driven by people in our community who come up with solutions for their block, for their neighborhood, and it's so empowering, and it's really exciting that we're going to continue to see this program in 2024. I want to thank the council for supporting it. You know, we also wanted to ensure that we were being more responsive to our complaints that we receive. Our See-Click Fix responses, I'm pleased to announce, we have increased our responsiveness and our time to completion by 87%. This is the result of having one department that is focused on ensuring that we're following up with our residents, that we're following up on these complaints, and that we are communicating effectively back and forth with our various departments. We still have room to improve, but we are learning a lot, and it is making us more effective and more efficient and more responsive to your constituents. So I'm very grateful to the Department of Neighborhood Services. In their first year on the job, they knocked it out of the park. So for those of you who don't think, so every once in a while we get calls saying that the code inspectors aren't out there anymore. Guess what? We do measure that. We're doing more code inspections than ever before. We have a record number of cases that are referred to Codes Court. I want to give a huge thank you to our city court judges and to the Office of Court Administration for helping to ensure that we were able to address huge backlogs that we had and move these cases through much faster. We are taking bad landlords to court, and we are holding them accountable, and that's what we need to continue to do. We need to make it impossible to be a slumlord in the city of Albany. We've reduced the number of vacant properties by 12%. Our efforts are working, and we're continuing to focus on those properties. Some of those properties will be the beneficiaries of that funding that we received from HUD so that we can get them back into the hands of homeowners. We emptied trash baskets. We got rid of illegal trash. We've looked at blighted properties, and under the leadership of DGS, we're far more tactical and proactive in addressing those problem areas and those hot spots. We also spent $19 million paving roads. We filled 6,700 potholes. We did sidewalk repairs. We continue to focus on traffic safety. And we want to ensure that this is a city that is safe not only for cars, but especially for pedestrians. And that's why in our 2024 budget, I proposed and you approved a reimagining of our engineering department. We need to ensure that we have a leader in our engineering department who's going to own our bike and pedestrian plan, who's going to ensure that when our Vision Zero plan is complete, that we have a plan in place to implement it. You are all asking for speed humps, crosswalks, street lights, walk lights, and I am a huge proponent of all of those things. But by taking our city engineer and bringing traffic engineering, our building maintenance, our engineering, and our permitting all under one roof, we think that we're going to be more effective, more efficient, and we're going to have real ownership of our streets and our sidewalks so that we can really make sure that we're implementing the vision that we all have for a safer city. Now I'm going to move to a topic that most people don't talk about, bathrooms. Actually, there was a big conversation about whether we could host this event in this space because there wasn't a bathroom, but we, as you can see in the back, improvised. Thanks to the leadership of Sergio Panunzio, we are launching a pilot program. There is a product out there that is a self-cleaning restroom. It has safeguards in place in the event that, for example, a homeless person were to enter this facility and stay there, or if somebody were to go in, and sadly we have seen drug use in some of our restrooms, it would provide an alert so that we could send public safety there to address that issue. We are going to do 2 pilots this year, one in Black Lives Matter Park, which is a park where we've been trying to do a lot more programming in the summer and have pop-up events for young people, but not having a restroom there is a challenge, and one at the Buckingham Park Playground, which is another heavily used playground in our city. We'll see how they go, we'll see how they work, but we're hoping that this can address a long-standing issue and complaint that we get about having the right facilities at our recreational facilities. So, you know, the other thing that we are addressing is the new normal. We never know what to expect with storms. This year so far, we've been on the low end of the scale, but we know that it just takes a little shift in the wind or the move of a front, and we're going to get 3 feet of snow. And so as severe weather becomes the new normal, we have great leadership that is using brining to make our streets safer, doing all that we can to address what happens during a storm. But we also have to ensure that we're doing all that we can to meet our climate goals. We have met, I am proud to announce, our goal of 2,025 trees, 2,500 trees, let's see. The goal was 2,025 trees by 2025. We've planted 2,500. So we're ahead of schedule. I want to thank Jay Levine and the team at DGS and all of our public. This wouldn't happen without people asking for trees, adopting trees, and being part of planting all of these trees. We have 1,500 people participating in our composting program, and so we're really trying to build an ecosystem that makes sure that our residents understand how important this is. We also have finally nearly completed, I'm looking for Joe Coffey, yeah, nearly completed the Beaver Creek Clean Rivers project that is going to end centuries of solid waste flowing in, untreated solid waste flowing into the Hudson River. This is what the hole looks like now. It was a huge chasm before. We're looking forward to the completion of the wonderful park that is going to go into this facility. And this is truly going to allow us to really reimagine the Hudson River. I love all of you folks who want to tear down 787. I love the canal. I love all of those things. But when you have floatables floating into the river, who wants to be there? So this is dollars that needed to be spent and work that needed to happen in order for us to now really imagine what we can do on the riverfront. I want to thank our water department and all of the engineers and all of the work that went into making this possible. It is a big deal. We're also getting the lead out, and you're going to hear more, and we are focused on this. There's federal dollars. We need to access more of them, but we have grants available and a commitment, a moral commitment on the part of the city and the water department to get every lead pipe out of the city. We are also in the process of updating our climate action plan, and we are going to be prioritizing climate justice and action in those outcomes. We want to ensure that we're engaging the communities that are most impacted by climate change. We want to deal with heat islands. And as part of our updated plan, we're committing to the goal of becoming carbon neutral by 2050. And I'm pleased to report, under the leadership of Jason West, that as of now, 100% of the electricity used by the City of Albany is generated from renewable resources. We're putting EV chargers wherever we can. These are EV chargers that these are fast chargers that were installed in the Quackenbush garage under the leadership of Matt Peter. The Park Albany is installing more EV chargers, but this is a big deal, right? This is easy to get to off of the highway, and it is near Old English, the new Common Roots that's opening, the Skyway, the Clinton Market Collective, the Irish American Heritage Museum. When people are planning their trips and they have electric vehicles, they are looking for this type of charging station. They can plug their car in, and then they can spend a little bit of time in the city, spend a little bit of money in the city. And so this is good not only for those EV chargers and for those who have electric vehicles, but for all of the businesses around there. We are going to have to invest $11 million over the next 5 years to install EV chargers and electrify our fleet if we're going to meet our goals. It's a big number, but I know that we can do it. We also continue to provide world-class entertainment. I've been signing the Alive at 5. I'm not going to spill the beans, Alay, don't worry, for who's going to be coming for Alive at 5 this year. But we celebrated our 75th annual Tulip Festival in 2023 with Mayor Brules and a group of people who visited us from the Netherlands. We added a pumpkin run, lots of great things that will continue to happen. But we were able to level it up with ARPA. Our ARPA funding allowed us to pay artists stipends to create public art. It allowed us to host 37 events for All Halloween Festival. And it has allowed the U.S. Slater to have a new shoreside facility that includes an education center, classrooms, bathrooms, they're important, a gift shop, and storage. So that is all because of ARPA. We continue to open new businesses, new small businesses across the city in 2023. But ARPA allowed us to cut many more ribbons, and more importantly, it allowed us to demonstrate to our small business community that we cared. Let's take a look at the impact that ARPA had in 2023.
When COVID hit, my part-time business became my full-time business.
My name is James Mitchell, the CVO, Chief Visionary Officer of Young Futures.
My name is Karen Maxwell. I go by Kima. I started sewing bags. I fell in love with sewing bags, and I've pretty much been sewing bags ever since.
I'm Nathan Maloney, co-owner of the Kenmore Ball.
Financial Literacy Art Program is a program that teaches children various financial topics and really demystify financial literacy. They can connect to artistically.
And Kenmore Ballroom is a very unique historical event space.
So I applied for assistance with back rent.
ARPA funds allow Young Futures to develop our website, supported us with covering the cost for our rent, and also allowed us to purchase some marketing materials.
Being considered a small manufacturer business, I have leather and vinyl plus a laser machine. I'm considered a high-risk small manufacturing business. So regaining my insurance was huge for me.
It takes a lot of effort to put something on Instagram every day. And with the social media team that we've hired through the grant, we're able to do that. So the Kenmore Ballroom itself is a small business, but then we also have a marketing team that's another local small business that helps us promote them.
When COVID hit, what wasn't available was assistance to small businesses.
Grants are instrumental in keeping the small businesses alive.
And the coming back to Albany is because of the support that I get here.
So thank you to the team at Capitalize Albany Corporation and our downtown bid and our Central Ed bid and our Lark Street bid in helping us to get those grants out there. There are going to be a couple of more opportunities, but we're really excited about what we were able to do. And I'm proud to say that nearly 80% of the businesses that were assisted are businesses that are considered businesses that are minority-owned, veteran-owned, disadvantaged businesses. So we really were able to hit those businesses that weren't able to navigate the other funding that was out there for small businesses. We're also looking at our riverfront, as I talked about before. Now that we've cleaned it up, we're going to brand it a little bit, make it a little easier for people to find their way to all of the incredible amenities that we currently have down at the riverfront as we anticipate what might come, including the, I know the Albany Waterway Canal Project is full steam ahead. We're waiting for the results of the DOT study of 787. I won't be standing here when any of that work is done, but I do look forward to ensuring that we're putting the city in a good place to be able to take advantage of what that future might be. We're also funding with our ARPA funding wayfinding. We want to make it easier for people to navigate our downtown. We've made all these investments, but we have signage that is disjointed, that comes from, you know, all different years, and some of them are green and some of them are blue, and some of them are just wrong. And so, you know, I was pretty adamant with the ARPA funding. This is something we've been trying to fund since I was city treasurer back in 2010. And so if we weren't going to do it with ARPA money, it was never going to happen. So I'm looking forward to helping people find their way. It'll make it more walkable. It'll make people feel safer. And I think it will help our businesses to ensure that they're driving that foot traffic. We're also excited that ARPA money was able to help ensure that the Clinton Market Collective was built. It is nearly done. We're looking forward to opening this in the spring. And this space, together with the Skyway, together with Quackenbush Square, together with the amazing work that happens and the programming that happens at the Palace Theater, is really going to energize this entry into our city. And I look forward to all of the incredible things that are going to happen there. You know, we have a bright future. We have the Wadsworth Center that is moving forward and is going to be built. The Livingston Avenue Bridge is going to bring lots of construction jobs. Again, these are ribbon cuttings that will probably happen after I've already left office, but they have to start somewhere. The wind industry in and of itself is going to be a game changer for the capital region. And it is happening here in the city of Albany. When we look at what's happening out at Nanotech, $10 billion, a partnership with New York State, SUNY, Nano, and partners like Micron, IBM, Applied Materials. They're expanding the Semiconductor Research and Development Center there. And Senator Schumer is lobbying hard to ensure that the nation's National Semiconductor Technology Center is placed in Albany. That is going to be huge. And what does that mean? It means good jobs. It means jobs that require technical skills and ability, but it also means lots of low barrier to entry jobs. The jobs in the wind industry, manufacturing and putting together the various components for wind towers and wind turbines, they don't require a college degree. And they have starting salaries that range from $70,000 to $120,000 a year. That's incredible. We have a migrant community that is coming here. And while I will continue to fight in Washington to ensure that people get work status and are able to work here, this is workforce that we need. They're coming to our community, and the experience that they have here, their ability to get jobs here, will add to their ability to be our future homeowners, the future renters of apartments, the future business owners in our city. We have an aging population. And so we need migration in order to ensure that we have the people to fill the jobs that are coming in our community. And that's why homeownership is so important. And we provided a significant amount of our ARPA funding to help to spur homeownership in the city of Albany.
Gives people the opportunity to buy homes that feel they can't.
Habitat for Humanity builds strength, stability, and self-reliance through affordable homeownership. So we build and rehab homes, and then we sell them at an affordable price for first-time, low to moderate income families. I'm Christine Chudy. I'm the Executive Director at Habitat for Humanity Capital District.
I have 2 kids that figured would benefit from having a home. Cesar Burciaga. I've been living basically in Albany my whole life.
Habitat for Humanity and the Albany County Land Bank have a goal to build 100 new homeownership units in the city of Albany over the next 5 years. And the American Rescue Plan Act funding that we got through the city of Albany is helping us do that. Build at a much larger scale than we typically build. It's enabling us to concentrate a lot of investment into previously disinvested neighborhoods. And it's really transformational in the way that we are approaching homeownership and expanding access to homeownership for families who have been shut out from the market for generations.
It's a house built from the ground up, so it's brand new.
Affordable housing in general is so important. There are so many ways that we can boost affordable housing in our community. But an investment in homeownership, I think, really sets the administration apart, because an investment in homeownership means that we are acknowledging that there has been historical wrongs. We're trying to correct them. We are trying to close the homeownership gap in Albany. It's setting us up for success in the long run.
Stay in the neighborhood. You're more likely to change it as well.
You are investing in the sustainable growth of our region. You're making sure that even while we have these exciting new changes, regular working families will still be able to afford to live here and afford to be a part of our community.
So ARPA is allowing us to provide affordable entry to homeownership for our families. It has helped to train 100+ new home buyers in strategies classes that help them to save money and be ready to buy those homes. It has also catalyzed 88 new affordable units, 120 new homes that are in the pipeline or have already been built, and 75+ evictions have been prevented because of our investment in ARPA. This is the hope that people were looking for when the American Rescue Plan was passed, and it is going to help to transform neighborhoods in our city. But we face headwinds. We learned recently that the College of St. Rose is closing at the end of May, and we also learned recently that the hoped-for rehab of the Central Warehouse is not possible. We had to give back the grant that we received to rehab that building. We will be now applying for a grant to tear this building down. And so these present challenges. This was going to be workforce housing that would have filled a huge need in our city, but it is not possible. Now, the reasons for that are multi-layered. I don't want to suggest that there is only one reason. But as we see challenges in building housing with high interest rates and the challenges that exist in a city that has limited inventory, we are seeing the impacts of the inclusionary zoning rules that were passed by the council. We went from 5%, which was working, to a formula that is not working. When we had the 5% inclusionary zoning, we were on average putting 418 new units into service every year. Right now, our pipeline is 122. The goal that was stated for inclusionary zoning was to ensure that we were creating more affordable housing south of Central and west of Lark. What we have seen is those who build subsidized housing, tax credit housing, are lining up. You see this subsidized by right up 520%. Not all of those units will be built. Those are applications that are in for 9% tax credits, which is highly competitive. But we are seeing that those low-income tax credit proposals are coming in. The number of subsidized inclusionary units is down 62%, and the number of market rate units that are in the pipeline is down 71%. And this is what the map looks like. Those subsidized by right units that are 100% subsidized are all being built in the neighborhoods where you were trying to shift inclusionary housing into. And so I think that the challenge that we have as we need more housing, as we need to ensure that we are able to grow our tax base, every one of those subsidized housing units represents a shelter rent for the city, very small revenue. Every one of those market rate projects results in a huge tens of millions of dollars in some cases being added to our tax base. And so I think about where we're going to be 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, if we continue on the path that we're on. And it's challenging. I'm the first mayor in the state of New York to sign legislation aimed at helping renters. We were the first city in the state of New York to adopt good cause eviction. We have built more than 1,500 units of affordable housing since 2015. We spent more than 75% of our ARPA funding in formerly redline neighborhoods. My commitment to affordable housing, I think, is unassailable. But I say to you that I normally stand here and talk about how confident I am about our future, and I am very concerned. I'm very concerned if we stay on the trajectory that we're on, if we have effectively cut off the pipeline for both market rate housing and workforce housing, that we are missing an opportunity, and that the jobs that are being created here will result in people continuing to access housing in the suburbs that is being built as apartments are going up in Bethlehem, Guilderland, and Colony, and they will be moving into those units because we're not building those units here. So I would, again, as I wrote the council a letter. I want to implore the council to work together to look at this legislation so that we can create results-based strategy so that we can deal with this growing problem in our city. We need affordable housing, but we also need housing for everyone. And so I hope that we can work together because our future should be bright. We have an incredible team here, from our general services team under the leadership of Sergio Panunzia, our police chief, Eric Hawkins, our administrative services commissioner, Anne Marie Salmon, and all of the directors that work under her. We have an incredible assessor, Trey Kingston. We have a recreation department led by Jonathan Jones and an incredible team of committed people. We have our new neighborhood and community services department led by Faye Andrews with a team that is just knocking it out of the park under Sarah Camp, Rick LaJoy, Mick Foley, Brad Glass. We have our youth and workforce services that is really focused on ensuring that we are training people for these jobs of the future. Our Corporation Counsel's Office under the leadership of Marisa Franchini, our Fire Chief, Joe Gregory, our Commissioner of Water, Joe Coffey, as well as the incredible team that I have in the Mayor's office. I'm so grateful to my Chief of Staff, David Gallen, and our small but mighty team that get a lot of things done. We are all working together, and we want to ensure that our future is bright. So I think that if we can work together on this one issue, get things moving forward, making sure that our future is bright, making sure that we're building housing, making sure that we are focused on what our city needs, not just this year and next year, but in the years to come, that there is nothing that we can't do. Thank you for your attention tonight, and I really appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you.